Okay, so the video that I am choosing to interact to today is called "You Can Find Hope in the Midst of Hardships," and it is a live Q&A that has been conducted by Sadie Robertson, who is actually a preacher. So this is a sort of like religious interview, but I thought it really demonstrated the attending microskills that we are asked to observe, and I thought it was a great example of the evaluation step in the generalist intervention model. She is interviewing a 17-year-old girl named Michaela Noble. And a little backstory is a year ago, Michaela paralyzed herself from the waist down in a cheerleading accident. And she was one of the top cheerleaders in the world, like top 3. And then this happened. And so the interview is kind of asking like, how has life been since the accident, and how is she moving forward, and what steps is she taking, and kind of evaluating kind of what steps she has taken after like her implementation stage. And I chose about 4 minutes of the video, so from around 11.5 minutes to the 15-minute and 45-second mark, because I thought this part was a good like introduction to the whole incident and the questions. So right off the bat, Sadie is using very empowering words to Michaela and saying that she is such an inspiration, that she is amazing, that she is just in awe of her. And this also was like an interview in front of a crowd, so she's saying you guys should really go like look into this girl, not only on social media but just as an example in everyday life of how to overcome hardships. And I thought that was really cool how right off the bat she's empowering, and the whole entire time in this video she's making eye contact with her, but it's not like a creepy eye contact that makes people uncomfortable. It was really like understanding and empathetic, and so I thought that was like a great example of how to look at a patient, and or just like whoever you're working with. She starts off the video with a how question. So I thought that was a great way to open up the explanation of like her feelings in the process. She asks her, how did you have the faith to keep going? Essentially, that's what she said. It was kind of a longer question, because it was like a multifaceted question. And I thought that was great, instead of just saying like, oh, what, like, when did this happen? Or like, yeah, like just something that was very closed. So I thought it was great to start this with an open-ended question. At around 13 minutes, there is like an example of her shaking her head at her, like affirming her. So another example of empowerment. So she wasn't doing like constant like this, but just like she was just affirming what Michaela was saying. She constantly had positive body language. She's very open. She wasn't like this. She was very like relaxed, and she was also attentive. So like not only was she relaxed, just like, oh, like not paying attention, like she was sitting forward in her chair, like really listening to what Michaela was saying. She verbally underlines all of her empowering statements, and she is constantly like affirming her. I think that's just what her body language and her words say. She asked the what question around the 14-minute and 47-second mark, which so it opened up to the facts but also the process. And the question was, what have you learned about joy from this experience? And I thought that was cool because it also doubled as a positive psychology and like positive reinforcement question. Like she wasn't only asking about a fact, she was asking about a positive fact, like, and affirming that there has been joy found through this really difficult situation. So yeah.